Good day, the seventh grade student. Today we'll speak about different languages of the world. During the lesson, you will read the text and get to know some interesting information. So, the topic of our lesson is the languages of the world. Мови світу. Текст та різноманітні завдання створено на основі підручника Prepare Ukrainian Edition 7, англійська мова, 7-й рік навчання, підручник для 7 класу закладів загальної середньої освіти з аудіосупроводом, автори Коста, Вільямс, Скрипник, сторінка 92. Прогнозовані очікувані результати. Навчитись розповідати про мови світу, особливості їх вивчення та роботи з ними. Навчитись розповідати про вивчення іноземної мови та особливості цього процесу. Навчитись сприймати основну інформацію тексту, вміння знайти правильні відповіді. Навчитись використовувати прості техніки для ведення розмови. Before starting traveling around the world, visiting different continents, various countries, learning their languages, I propose you to revise some of the countries and their capitals. Now, let's look at this table. On the left, you can see the list of different countries, such as Spain, Canada, Mexico, Kenya, Norway, Chile, India, New Zealand. On the right hand, here is the list of the capitals: Ottawa, Madrid, Santiago, Wellington, Nairobi, New Delhi, Oslo, Mexico City. So, try to match the capital and the country. Mind the spelling. Let's check up your answers. Spain, the capital is Madrid. Canada, the capital is Ottawa. Mexico, the capital is Mexico City. Kenya, the capital is Nairobi. India, the capital is New Delhi. Chile, the capital is Santiago. New Zealand, the capital is Wellington. Norway, the capital is Oslo. Let's continue our lesson. I want to share this information about the history of language appearance and the earliest period of its developing. Look at this text. Fossil evidence suggests that modern humans evolved in Africa about 200,000 years ago. 50,000 years ago, those humans started to leave Africa and spread to other continents. Between this period, we developed a system of language, and this gave us a tremendous advantage over other animals and other species of human-like apes, allowing us to spread over the globe very successfully. Why and how language evolved in humans is very controversial. Of course, there is no direct evidence of what this early language sounded like, as it was a long time before people started to write down language. The earliest records we have of written language date to Sumerian tablets from about 3000 BC, written in modern-day Iraq. However, we can use evidence from archaeology, anthropology, and linguistics to give us some idea of how and why language developed. Once humans started separating and crossing the globe over many thousands of years, it was natural for a number of languages to emerge. For example, people would have needed new words to name objects, which they hadn't seen before. Language families like Romance, Slavic, and Tokic, spoken by peoples in Eurasia, probably reflect the main migration pattern, as people settled, grouped, and came into contact with a new environment. The growth of different languages is now reversing because of globalization. Smaller languages are dying out, as the new generation prefers to learn languages such as English, which are seen to offer more opportunities. You listened to the text about the history of different languages and their growth. Now let's answer the question. Question 1. When was the largest period of developing system of language? 2. What can you say about the earliest records of written language? 3. Did the main migration of humans help the growth of different languages? The answers are: 1. The largest period was between 200,000 years and 50,000 years ago. 2. The earliest records we have of written language date to Sumerian tablets from about 3000 BC, written in modern-day Iraq. 3. Of course, it helped. Humans started crossing the globe. People came into contact with a new environment. They needed new words to name objects. We read the text about the history of the languages. And now I propose you to listen to and to read the text about the different languages of the world which exist nowadays. But first of all, look at the questions from 1 till 4. In pairs, discuss the questions, then read the text quickly to check your answers. Number 1. How many languages are there in the world? 2. What European language family does Polish belong to? 3. Which Asian language has the most speakers? 4. What are some common second languages in Africa? So, let's listen to and read this text.
Track 118.
Languages of the world. There are around 7,000 different languages in the world today. Languages that are similar to each other are in groups or families. Some languages have a lot of speakers and others have very few. Many of the smaller languages have no writing, so when the last speaker dies, the language dies too.
Europe.
Europe has 284 different languages. One language family here is Romance languages, which includes Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. Another is Slavic languages, such as Ukrainian, Polish, and Czech. English belongs to the Germanic group and is the third largest language in the world. 335 million people speak it as a first language, and 405 million speak it as a second language. The Basque language from Spain and France is very unusual. It doesn't belong to any language family.
Asia. Asia has 2,303 languages. Chinese has 1 billion speakers, more than any other language in the world. Hindi is the world's 4th largest language, and Arabic comes 5th. Some parts of Asia have a very large number of languages.
Americas. This area has 1,060 languages. English and Spanish have the most speakers on these continents. Spanish, with 406 million speakers, is the world's 2nd largest language. Portuguese is spoken in Brazil, while in Canada, people speak mainly English and French. There are also many other native languages, for example, Mam, a Mayan language which people speak in parts of Mexico and Guatemala.
Africa. Human language probably began on this continent. There are 2,146 languages here. Many people in Africa can speak more than one language because, as well as their own language, they also speak English, French, or Portuguese.
Australia and Oceania. This area has 1,311 languages in total. The main language of Australia and New Zealand is English, but there are a lot of smaller languages too. Papua New Guinea has only around 8 million people, but it has 832 languages, more than any other country. Unfortunately, some Aboriginal languages are very small now and have only 1 or 2 speakers.
Let's look at the answers to this text. 1. There are around 7,000 different languages in the world today. 2. Polish belongs to Slavic language family. 3. Chinese language has the most speakers. 4. Some common second languages in Africa are English, French, and Portuguese. I hope you learned a lot about various languages in the different continents and countries. And now it's high time to speak about yourself. Tell the information using these questions for your answer. Here we can see 4 questions. 1. Where do you come from? 2. What languages do people in Ukraine speak? 3. Do you enjoy studying English? 4. Tell me, what do you do in your English lessons? Think a bit and tell us a short information. go on. Now we'll watch the video about the students of different nationalities. They tell us about the languages which they and their families speak. So, watch the video very attentively.
This film looks at different languages. I come from Brighton in England and I speak English and a little bit of French. I also learned to speak Spanish and German at school. What languages do you speak?
I can speak Gujarati.
I speak Welsh and Spanish.
I speak English and Somali.
I can speak Bengali and English.
I speak English and a little bit of Arabic.
And what languages do you study?
This year I am studying Welsh and Spanish.
I study Spanish and Welsh.
At school I'm studying Spanish and Welsh.
I study Spanish and Welsh.
I'm studying Welsh.
And what languages do your parents speak?
My mum speaks Somali and English.
My parents speak Bengali and English.
My parents speak Arabic and English as well.
My mum speaks Welsh.
My mum speaks Arabic and my dad speaks Welsh.
I think it's time to speak about yourself and your friends and the languages you speak. Work in pairs. Try to answer this question. Make short dialogue. The questions are: what languages do you speak? What languages are you studying? What languages do your parents speak? I think it will be an interesting information for everybody. Сьогодні на уроці ми з вами навчились розповідати про мови світу, особливості їх вивчення та роботи з ними. Навчились розповідати про вивчення іноземної мови та особливості цього процесу. Також навчились сприймати основну інформацію тексту та знаходити правильні відповіді. Навчились використовувати прості техніки для ведення розмови. Подивіться, будь ласка, на ті речення. Що вам було цікаво? Я зрозумів, що я дізнався, було складно. Подумайте над ними. Here is your homework. The task is to watch the video one more time about the different students and the languages they speak at home. Try to fill all these gaps. Завдання додому. Подивіться відео про студентів та мови, якими вони спілкуються, і заповніть ті необхідні пропуски. Підказка. Всі ті пропуски – це назви мов, про яких говориться у відео. I believe you watched the video very attentively and found out all these necessary words. Here are the answers. 1. French. 2. German. 3. Gujarati. 4. Welsh. 5. Arabic. 6. Welsh. 7. Welsh. 8. Somali. 9. Spanish. 10. English. 11. Bengali. 12. Welsh. 13. Bengali. 14. Arabic. 15. Spanish. 16. Arabic. Thanks for your attention. I hope it was interesting and useful for you. Goodbye.